What is going on, Flex Zone family? God's favorite host, the host with the moist back here on the Flex Zone podcast, the only place giving you your sports how you want it, when you need it. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit that bell for all notifications, and comment down below and let me know what you think about Roman Reigns possibly leaving WWE and going to Hollywood. If you're new to the channel, as I said, subscribe. We had a bomb, a stupendous WWE WrestleMania Backlash live stream last night. We appreciate all of you for joining in and being part of the Flex Zone family for our WWE WrestleMania Backlash watch along. Big shouts out to everybody that tuned in. And if you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch it. It'll be linked to this video. But let's get to the big story here. I waited a couple of days to do a video on the Roman Reigns situation just because we knew more news would come out, especially as the pay per view would be coming and going this weekend as well. But in case you didn't know, I'm going to read the original report and then I'll go into news that just came out today. Roman Reigns teased at a WWE live event at the Live Crowd in Trenton, New Jersey on Saturday night. He hinted that his current WWE run may be coming to an end soon because he's starting a new phase in his life and career. Roman says, and I quote, "I've been here a couple of times in the past 10 years." The WWE Universal Champion said, "I'm starting to work into a new phase of my career, and I honestly don't know if I'll be back here again. If that's the case, I just want to say thank you for all these years of support." Speaking to the town last month, WWE President Nick Khan pointed toward a transition to Hollywood for the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Nick Khan says, "We certainly think he's up there. We have big plans to keep him a crossover star, which will be great and certainly great to do with him." Roman has expressed his own interest in Hollywood at some point down the road, something his cousin, as we know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, has excelled in. In November 2021, Reigns told the Michael Kay show that is where he wants to end up after professional wrestling. He says, "We will have to see. I think there's going to be some moves made here pretty soon," Reigns admitted. "There's always speculation and contract talks. All that question of it is my business. People can dive deep enough. I'm sure they can turn enough stones to figure out the time frame. But that is something I definitely want to dabble in and gain more experience. I want to use the tools that I've learned in WWE as they have done right by me. They've given me so much and placed so many blessings and opportunities in front of me. I've just had to capture them. I've just had to grab that ball and run with it. I like to think that along the way, I've picked up so many skills. I've experienced so many things that are going to help me. At the end of the day, we know how this works. This is a young man's game. You can't fall down your whole life. You have to get to a point where you can transition, where you can continue to create and connect fresh, evolved content for your fan base and your supporters. I think I still have the ability to do that. At the end of the day, it's about being thrown in that fire and seeing how you do. I have a pretty good track record of being thrown in a deep end. If that's what happens in Hollywood, I'm looking to swim. Reigns signed a multi-year contract back with WWE in August of 2019, and news also came out yesterday that his contract was ending or was set to expire in April 2023. So that would be after WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood as well. So when I heard this news, I actually didn't think Roman was going anywhere. I thought he would at least go through next year's WrestleMania, probably still with both titles. But the problem that this presents is if Roman does leave next year or after next year, who is next for the WWE Universal Champion? Do they keep the titles unified? Do they find a way to get one title off of Roman between now and WrestleMania? Does he go into WrestleMania with both titles against an eventual match, which I think we'll get against his cousin, The Rock, to see who is the real tribal chief of the family, the biggest WrestleMania draw or main event they probably can do? A legit dream match that is left, something that would draw and transcend not only WWE but pop culture and could be on the front of magazines that aren't wrestling related and websites that aren't wrestling related and be something that gets clicks and views and impressions on social media. So Roman and The Rock, I think, is happening in Hollywood. The question is, will Roman have both belts? Will he have one belt? Will he lose one to Drew McIntyre over the summer, maybe at the live event in Cardiff, Clash of the Castle? Does Cody Rhodes win Money in the Bank and beat Roman, cashing on him? Cody teased that the Money in the Bank winner will headline WrestleMania, which is coming up July 4th weekend in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. But News came out this morning, according to WrestlingNews.co, that Roman Reigns signed a new WWE contract with a reduced schedule. There was a lot of speculation on Sunday after Roman Reigns' comments at the live event on Saturday night about his future. Reigns has talked about wanting to make that transition to Hollywood. Now, it looks like Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio said that Reigns is not leaving WWE, but has signed a new deal that essentially gives him a similar schedule to Brock Lesnar. So great. Roman Reigns is the new Brock Lesnar, where he'll come in and wrestle a few shows per year, hold the belts hostage, be a part-time champion, huh? That's what it's come to in WWE. Let me know what you think about that. This is not for him, but the situation that he has got a new deal, and the deal is for less dates, Meltzer said. I don't know how many house shows he's going to be doing, but it will be much less than the number that he's doing now. Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't care about the house shows. It's one of the perks of being there for a while and being valued there, is you can kind of call certain shots, and he's got the power to maintain the championship and work fewer dates like Brock Lesnar has, Hulk Hogan. He's going to be in a new phase of his life. He's got young kids and everything like that in his mid to late 30s. He probably wants to preserve his body a little bit more. Reigns Meltzer noted that Reigns only worked a couple of shows on the recent UK tour, and he didn't want to go to the prior tour because he didn't want to be away from his family for 2 weeks straight. We know Roman Reigns is one of the most valued individuals in the WWE, much like a Randy Orton, much like an aforementioned Brock Lesnar and Edge, if you want to throw him in there. We know AJ Styles, even Cody Rhodes now. We know Roman has the ability to call his shot. He is a tribal chief on the camera and behind the camera. Joe and Hawaii is a great piece to the WWE, and by all accounts, he's loved backstage, and he's a good person to be around and is a legit locker room leader, much like Cena, The Undertaker, guys in the past. But Roman looks like he's still going to be there for the foreseeable future. He'll just have the ability, much like a John Cena, much like a person who does films in Hollywood or other projects like Sasha Banks did with The Mandalorian, to go away for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and come back for the big four, for a Survivor Series, for a SummerSlam, for a show in Cardiff, for a Money in the Bank, for a Royal Rumble, for of course a WrestleMania, and be champion or be in high profile matches or feuds. Now the question I'm saying is, does WWE want to keep this part-time championship reign going? Because he is on an all-time great reign with Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, amongst others. But does WWE want to keep another part-timer? Is that going to overall help the product, or do they have faith in a guy that is on the roster now, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, maybe to hold each of those titles, since it looks like they're going to keep the brand split as it is and have a world champion on each show? And it's been spoken about with Drew McIntyre in his interviews as well. Let me know what you think about Roman Reigns possibly going to Hollywood. I said he wasn't going to leave until at least after next year. It looks like he's still going to be there. He's going to have that Brock Lesnar part-time schedule where he can come back, be champion, still be the tribal chief, make limited select appearances to add to his lore, his mystique, defend the title, have big profile matches, show up for the big four, big five pay-per-views, the shows in Saudi Arabia as well, the big high profile matches and themed shows possibly as well. But Roman Reigns probably will not be a regular full-time performer. It looks like heading into probably after this current contract runs through WrestleMania. He'll have his appearances. He'll show up at the big pay-per-views. We know he's set to defend against Drew McIntyre. Looks like probably, if not a Hell in a Cell, but at these big stadium shows this summer. Obviously Cardiff, SummerSlam, and Money in the Bank. And I think going into WrestleMania next year. But after WrestleMania next year, I think you could see his schedule scale back if he does still have one or both of the titles, and he'll be able to do that as well. Let me know your thoughts on Roman Reigns going to Hollywood. Do you want him to go? Do you think his championship title run is starting to become stale, too predictable? They won last night. Let's go over the recap last night. Obviously, we had the Bloodline beat Drew McIntyre and RK Bro at WrestleMania Backlash. Fantastic six-man tag match. Fantastic six-man tag match. It was very good. I was very entertained, very proud with the result. Just wish it was for the unified tag team titles or for all the belts even as well. Shoot, I know we're getting trios titles in AEW when Kenny Omega comes back. WWE may look into some trios titles as well, because that was a banger of a match. The Charlotte Flair Ronda Rousey I Quit match was decent. They should have did this at WrestleMania, but Now Ronda Rousey has the SmackDown title. Charlotte Flair has been written off TV with a kayfabe injury with a broken arm. Looks like she may be getting married soon to Andrade, so that could be part of it, and she could take some time off. But Ronda Rousey is the new SmackDown Women's Champion, her first reign as champion. Let's see who they give her now. I would love a returning Bailey because we have not seen that match as well. And give me Ronda and Bailey heading into the summer months and the stadium shows. Cody Rhodes got a big win over Seth Freakin Rollins with a roll up, and he out heeled the heel. Cody and Seth put on another fantastic show, possibly the show, the best match of the night. Cody gets another win, and they have hit a home run with Cody Rhodes returning to WWE. And I'm very, very happy what he's done, and I'm excited to see what happens next. They're teasing another opponent for Cody possibly tonight. We'll see. Do him and Seth close it out in Hell in a Cell? I don't think they need to, but WWE loves trilogy matches, so we'll see what happens. AJ Styles and Edge, another banger. Edge has a new member of Judgment Day. If you don't know, it is Rhea Ripley. She is part of Judgment Day. We know that Edge and AJ Styles had another match. Finn Balor joined AJ, reuniting of the club. Damian Priest tried to interfere. Finn Balor came out. This led to a hooded figure interfering and costing AJ the match, which was revealed to be Rhea Ripley, something that has been rumored for weeks. And I'm glad to see it. She has the black hair. She's full heel. Give me Rhea. Give me Bianca. Raw Women's Championship match at SummerSlam main eventing or as one of the big draws of the show with a built-up feud. Evil heel Rhea, a babyface Bianca. They did great work in NXT. I think if given a chance on the main roster, they can put on some bangers. We got Bobby Lashley, love his new entrance, and Omos, aka the African Great Khali. Bobby Lashley took the loss to Omos. MVP hit Bobby Lashley with his cane. Omos gets a win. We'll probably certainly get this match again at Hell in a Cell. Maybe inside Hell in a Cell. I hope not. But we'll see what happens with Omos and Bobby Lashley heading into the next pay-per-view and MVP in Omos's corner. And last but not least, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin, this match was a throwaway match. It was a bathroom break match, but Madcap Moss got the roll of victory. We'll see if they keep the stupid Madcap gimmick or give him Riddick Moss and build him up as a badass babyface with a great look. Maybe have him go against the likes of a Gunther or Sami Zayn or Shinsuke Nakamura or Ricochet in an IC title picture. Sheamus, somebody like that for Madcap Moss. Happy Corbin, we know what his job is to put others over. He's safe in the ring and people love that. So he'll always have a job, but he needs a better gimmick as well. So that is your wrestling news for today. Raw, we'll see what happens as they start to build towards Hell in a Cell June 5th in Chicago. We'll see what happens with that. Let me know your thoughts on Roman Reigns possibly leaving and going to Hollywood. Are you thinking that he should work this part-time schedule? Is it going to benefit the brand? Is it going to be positive for Roman Reigns? Does he keep these titles as he is the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion? Does he drop one or both of these titles heading into his match with The Rock? Does that match need a title, or is it just about tribal chief supremacy in the bloodline and their family? Let me know your thoughts down below. Appreciate all you new members, all you new parts of the Flex Zone family. If you want to donate, look at the Cash App down below. Cash tag the Flex Zone One, the Flex Zone One on all social media platforms. We are the only place giving your sports how you want it when you need it. I'm God's favorite host, the host with the moist. Make sure you check out a new episode of the Flex Zone Podcast tonight, 10 p.m. here on YouTube. We may be going live a little earlier as we'll be talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness as well. Myself and my boy Uncle Raj will be live around 9:45 potentially as well. Main show starts at 10. The flagship podcast. We'll be talking NBA playoffs, NBA MVP, Ravens rookie mini camp, and so much more. And we'll be talking about the Canelo fight as well. God's favorite host checking out. Like this video, hit that bell for notifications, subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, for the next video, let me know your thoughts on Roman Reigns and any of the results from WWE Backlash. And what do you want to see hit in the Hell in a Cell? Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you for subscribing. Thank you for watching the live stream of WWE WrestleMania Backlash. If you haven't already, it'll be linked to this video. And until next time, y'all, I'm gone. Peace.